everyone, welcome back. I'm going to continue working on my book club blanket. So here it is so far. I've got 2 balls and a little bit left of the yarn that I got, so I might have to get a little bit more to make it a bit longer, but we'll have to see. It's looking great so far. It's a bit halo-y, but not as much matting as they say that anniversary cakes might cause. So overall I think it looks pretty nice. It's in a waffle stitch. So I'm just going to continue on with that for now. But I hope everybody's having a wonderful day. Since this is the book club blanket, I've been crocheting it while watching movies related to the books that I've read, so that's been good. So I've got all caught up on those. And then I do a little book journal comparison between those and the books. So that's been fun. So the most recent book I've read was a book called The Fisherman by a John Langdon, something like that for the last name. And I will have to say that I had a bit of different expectations going in because I read a couple of Goodreads reviews on it, and one of them said, oh, I didn't like it at all because it had way too many references about fishing and all they were doing was describing fishing. And I don't like fishing, so I didn't find it interesting. So I'm like, oh, I'll find that interesting because I like fishing. So I ended up reading it, and it was more just like a sad book about like the loss of these 2 men that had their wives taken from them tragically, and their like method of escapism was fishing. But it was only for like a couple chapters, and it was just overall not what I expected it to be. So I think if I had different expectations going in, then I would have liked it a bit more. But anyway, I thought it was pretty well written overall, and it just didn't end up being for me just because I had those preconceived notions going in. But yeah, so that's about that. I've been watching The Game of Wool, and it's called like Britain's Best Knitter, and so all throughout the first episode I'm like, that's crochet, that's crochet, this is crochet. I was so upset because I'm like, do they not know the difference between knitting and crochet? This is basic. But then they ended up doing challenges of just crochet, and I'm like, okay, I guess they're doing both, but I'm like, why would you call it finding Britain's best knitter when like crochet is a completely different skill? It's just odd, you know? It's like going into Sugar Rush and they're asking you to cook steak. It's like, no, this went into this competition not wanting to do that. It's a completely different skill. But anyway, I just find that quite odd. So Tom's first outfit was absolutely terrible, but the second and third ones were better. The second one was like trendy. It wasn't my style, but it's okay. And the third one, it had a lot of skill, and it was pretty funny. But yeah, so entertaining at least. But the show's pretty good. It has, I can't help but compare it to the Great British Baking and Great British Sewing Bee, because that's what I thought it was at the start, but then it ended up being Games of Wool. I kept typing in Great British Knitting, and it wouldn't work. And then it was Games of Wool. But, so I can't help compare, but they are 2 different shows, so I can't bash it too much for not being like the others. But I really miss the watercolor line drawn depictions of what each contestant's gonna do, because now we've got this kind of like MS Paint like sketch of them, and like this is really mean to say, but I don't know, it just doesn't look that well done. And I think like if they did like some line work and some watercolor, I think it would like look a lot better. You know, it's just so undefined, it's very flat, and I just don't like the depictions. And then when they're showing like the knitting versus crochet, and then the crochet hook kind of like looked like a latch hook, you know, like how you make latch hook rugs. And so I'm like, you could have checked it better. But and then the first episode with the really chunky yarn, and everybody was complaining about it. I do get how that was difficult, so that was kind of funny. But the couch, though, the like the ombre couch, that looked actually super nice. And I know like it wasn't finished and all that, and like more, but you can see the vision and more refined. I'm like, I gotta want that couch cover. It looks great. And yeah, and I love the German contestant in there. He's just so dry, and that's funny. And so I do appreciate that. But yeah, and I think he's much better than the rest of them, like just skill wise, or at least in the competition, like not cracking under pressure. I don't like judge their whole knitting careers over how they do in this competition, but I think overall he's just like just like a cut above the rest. I think he's just a lot better at it. So we'll have to see what ends up happening. I've only made it through to episode 3 because I'm watching it when it gets reposted onto YouTube. So I'm excited for the next one. But it's been a good show so far. As soon as I figured out that they're doing crocheting and knitting, like thank goodness, because like you gotta know the difference. And I still don't like how it's called like finding the Britain's best knitter, but I get how there's no real words to come up with both of them. Like stitchers could mean like a whole bunch more than that. I like the games of wool, but I wish it wasn't like only knitting, or make it only knitting, like, you know, no crochet, because they're two completely different skills and somebody can go their whole lives without doing the other one. So I just find it a bit not exclusionatory, but like a little bit like described wrong, I guess. But anyway, I do like the show so far, and some of their pieces are great. I loved how poor Tom, he said, when they're doing the bathing suit episode, he said, yeah, we have no shame, we're just vessels, like, to perform, he said, so don't worry about it. He brought his friends on to wear the bathing suits because they're all Olympic divers, and he said, yeah, no shame, don't worry about it. Everybody's worried about the bathing suits being too skimpy. Poor Tom. It's terrible. But I do like that he was cast because he got somewhat popular over him doing his knitting or crochet during the Olympics. I can't remember which one he did. I'm pretty sure it was knitting, but I'm not 100% sure. But I'm glad that he's one of the ones hosting it. The judges are fantastic. So emotional, and it's so sweet. They cry about everything, and it's so, so sweet. It's a beautiful face, and they're so... I just love it. I love how friendly the competition is, how everybody went and ran in to help finish the couch or the other one, even though it didn't quite finish. Like, everybody's so helpful, so I do appreciate that. Seems like a very chill competition because you got to hang out for 12 hours at a time, so I bet they feel really emotional when one leaves because that was your friend there that you spent the last 12 hours knitting with. So I do understand how that could be painful, and I do understand how the friendships were built so quickly from the competition. But yeah, very nice. And so hopefully I'll be done this crochet blanket soon, and then we can do some book journal reviews. I still want to know if people think I should do glossy photo print paper or just like paper copy paper for the book images of the book journal. But people can leave a comment below on what they want to do with that. But yeah, I'm excited to be done this, and I think it's looking great so far. The best part about crocheting or knitting blankets is that the more you work on it, the warmer you are, because you have to put it on your legs to continue it, so you definitely get a lot warmer as you go. So I do find that fun. So I have 2 balls left, so I definitely think that I might need to make this a little bit taller, but I'm not sure if Michael's going to ship me any more of this stuff. Hard enough to get this many, so we'll have to see if I can or not, but you never know. Almost done my 4th cake of this book club yarn, so that's great. And I have some super exciting news that I'm going to be getting a Ginger Snap That James Bond yarn advent calendar. So I'm going to be able to pick it up soon, and I'm excited to show you guys what that looks like. So my plan is that each day, it's 12 days, so I'm going to open it on the 1st, and then I'll have 2 days to crochet a stripe, and then I'm going to make like a nice dress out of all the colors, and it'll grow each day. So that is the plan with that, and I'm not sure what I want to do with the sleeves, if I want to do them so that like when the stripes go it's the same, or just do the sleeves after. I'm not 100% sure how I'm going to go with that. And so they're all going to be dyed based on different colors of the James Bond movies, so that's very exciting. But yeah, so I'm going to do different stripes, and they're probably going to be different colors, and so I'm not sure if I should do like one stitch for the whole dress or do different stitches for each stripe and each color. I'm not sure. If anybody has an opinion, they can let me know down below, and I will see what the consensus is on that. But I'm very excited to get that and show you what it looks like. And I'm going to just work on it during the whole month of December. So that's why I'm trying to get this done, so that it can be finished before I start doing my advent calendar dress, so I don't have as many work in progresses. As many. But yeah, very exciting. So I hope everybody's having a fantastic day, and I think I will leave it there, but hope to see you guys next week when I am possibly done this blanket, done with the balls that I have at least. So that'll be fun. And then we can decide more if I need it to be longer. We'll have to see. Or maybe just we'll keep it that way for now and make it longer later. Never know. But I hope you guys are having a lovely day, and I will see you next week. Bye!